Hello Fish here, welcome back to another BMS 4.33 training mission walkthrough. In this training walkthrough we're going to look at JDAMs, and we're going to look at the JDAM specifically from the IAF theatre. And there's a number of different variants of the F16 in the IAF theatre, and the one we're going to focus on here is the F16C Block 30 with the Barak Avionics. So we click on that mission and let's look at the briefing screen. We're going to, before we do anything else, we're going to just push forward a little bit the clock because we don't need to be starting so far back. Now we're going to focus in on the weapons that we're going to be using. Quick look at the loadout. We'll show we got a nice colourful weapon loadout there. Nice blue for our 4 GBU38s. So we're going to use these weapons to attack 4 separate targets. And the nice thing about the JDAMs in the IAF theatre, these particular ones using the Barak Avionics, are that you can you can pre-assign 4 individual targets from your jet, and when you get in you can ripple them off in sequence from a standoff range and turn away, making them a truly fire and forget efficient weapon platform. And it's very straightforward to do this and set them up and move away, and I'm going to demonstrate this. So first thing we must do, however, is to, in the assignment screen or the briefing screen, we must assign our targets. And we're going to use the 409 range in the IAF theatre, and we're going to right click and recon the target area. We select the details from 409. We go down to the bottom of the list and we can see we have 4 A4s available for attacking. We're going to select one of those and we can see where they are. Zoom out, we've got 2 in the north there, and we've got 2 on the south. And you can see we can select them individually. So I'm going to start off and assign them to targets 15 to 18. I'm going to start off at 18 because we're attacking from the north and we want to do the closest first. So we start off with steer point 8 or with target point 18, and we're going to assign that to the southernmost one. And we change to our weapon target points and accept. So go back 1 step and down 1 step. Accept. Back 1 step. Down 1 step. Accept. Back 1 step. Down 1. And accept. So now we have those 4 targets assigned. Leave the recon screen. Open our data cartridge and just do a very quick cross check. So we have 18 there, 17, 16, 15, nothing on 14. So there are 4 targets now which have been correctly assigned. Make sure our tower is set up at preset 6 as I like to have it, and we're good to go into the pit. So we'll see you in a moment. Welcome back into the pit, and first thing we're going to do here is we're going to power on our weapons because they take a good bit of time. I think it's about 3 minutes to liven up. So air to ground mode and power on using OSB 7 there. And we can see we have our 4 GBU38s indicated there on our weapons page. And I'm going to now go into autopilot mode and allow us to work a bit heads down. I'll remove our TGP page because we don't need it. Okay, so we can see we have a countdown timer here against OSB 7, and we also have an alignment against OSB 13. These both need to be displaying ready before we can release the weapon. Master arm is already on from the flight, so we're good to go there. So now let's start assigning our weapons, assigning our bombs from within the avionics to the specific target points. And remember, the sequence option here replaces the list option that we would normally have on the F16. So we're going to choose the miscellaneous page, and we're going to choose the JDAM page, which is 0. And we can see now we can assign weapons. There's a number of different options here that we're not going to need for this particular mission. We'll go through them again in another mission. So we're going to double down to get to the first one and put in the steer point. And remember, we started off with number 15 because number 15 was the northmost one. We did it the opposite way around. So we're going to start off, going to type in 15, enter, double down, 16, and 18. So we've got our 4 weapons in there, and we're going to just double back to the first one, and we can see on our SMS page we now have our target assigned for that weapon. Okay, we have a release angle of 45 degree, and we'll leave that. I'm going to push onto our steer point there, and we can see that we have that target point assigned. We've also got a ready symbol against our OSB 6 there, and also against OSB 13. So we're ready to deliver these weapons. Let's have a look at the HUD symbology now for a moment, and we can see we've got a similar to our CCRP. We've got our release queue here, which is the little right hand arrow, and then we've got our WZ, which is the deployment range here. And once the queue gets into that bracket, we can release the weapons, and we release them one by one by pickling, release the pickle, and pickle again. We saw there the pre-release queue telling us that we're nearly in range to be able to deliver these weapons. So it's as much as that. It doesn't matter what we've got on the left hand screen here, even if I've selected a target as a SPI, it doesn't really matter. Once we're within weapons range, parameter range, when we release these 4 bombs in sequence, they will make their way to the pre-defined targets. So we've got 1 away now by pickling. Leave it a couple of seconds. 2 away. 3 away. 4 away.
Caution. Caution.
And now let's have a quick look outside and see, can we see what these things are doing. So you can see them down there. They're starting to make their way to the target area. You can see them below, and hopefully this is the last one to arrive. We may get a good indication. We might get a good BDA here. Let's try and focus in a bit more. So starting to fine-tune themselves now. 1 in, 2 in, 3 in, and 4 in. So you can see by that how easy it is to assign the weapons and assign the weapons to individual targets, and we could have been long gone from the target area at that stage, and once again by releasing at a high altitude and a reasonable speed, we get more effective standoff ranges. Okay, we're back in the pit again, and this time we've got another load of 38s, and we're going to do a low level attack on 2 separate targets. So the first thing we do is liven up our bombs, and we're a good bit out, so we're going to configure our weapons, and then we're going to go low level. So first thing we need to do here, because we're going to pickle 2 bombs on 2 separate targets, we've got to change our ripple rate from 1 to 2. And that's all we have to worry about for the moment on the SMS page. Going to remove this TGP because we don't need it. And go back to our HST page so we can see where we're going. We're just going to nose our jet down a little bit, and we're going to go and configure our weapons again. Remember the sequence button followed by the M select and the M select. And then we're going to double down to the first weapon, and this time we're going to type in 15, and we're going to sequence across, enter, and then sequence across. We're going to change the aspect angle, the attack angle, to 35 instead of 45. Enter, and then double across. We're going to change the number of bombs released from 1 to 2, and enter. And that's that one configured. Double down, do the same thing with 17. Enter, double, change their angle to 35. Weapons to 2, and enter. So now we're good. Got our weapons set up, and now let's start to aligning our jet for the attack profile. It's going to nose down. And return.
Altitude. Altitude.
Let's pull up a little bit so we don't overstress our aircraft here. Now what we've got to do in this approach is we have to pull up to 35 degrees nose up, traveling at a reasonable speed when we get the pre-release queue. And the pre-release queue is based on our current weapons, our current target location, which is steer point 6. Going to push on to steer point 6 now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our radar. FCR. I'm going to go fence in now. Master arm on and air to ground. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a mark for where I believe those targets are, and then I'm going to use that as my target destination to pull up to. So we're only going to see that when we get a little bit closer, because we're coming in at such low level. Our radar won't easily pick it up. So pull up a little bit on speed here now. So we're 20 miles out now. Nothing on our radar yet. And our weapons are ready. We can see there. That's the final check. Now we see something on the radar. So I know the target location is in the northeast side of the target area, and that looks like it there. So I'm going to TMS up on that to lock it. Make a mark and make that the target location. So now I've got something to fix on for our ingress point. Push up on speed. I'm currently Mach 8.3. Let's get up a little bit faster than that.
Altitude.
Maybe to 9. We're going to slow down once we pull up. Now we've got the pre-release queue, and I'm going to pull up. Pushed up on the throttle and up to 35 degrees. And now we've got the weapons release option here. 2 away. 2 away. And now 135 degrees pitch down out of the target area.
Caution.
So I'm going to just level the jet, and we're going to now have a look outside the pit to see our bombs. So you can see they're still climbing, they're still lofting, and they're heading towards the target area. We can see our target area there on the bottom right hand side of that closest runway there. Now they're starting to head down. Hopefully we'll get good hits now. Okay, there's the first one in. 2 of them, they look good. Now these one are going to follow in again. See the one in front of us there. Right on target. Boom. Boom. Okay, so that's a loft approach using the Barak Avionics and the F16C Israeli Air Force's GBU38s. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful, and as usual feel free to make comments, and we'll see you next time.